Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video I'll be talking about Jade's That's Showbiz Baby tour, which I went to on October 18th in Newcastle at the O2 City Hall. I was sat on the balcony, row A, seat 66, which is a brilliant seat by the way. It's a side view of the stage, as you can tell from the footage that I took of that night, but it's still a good seat. I don't even know really where to start with this review, to be honest, because long story short, I loved this show so much. This was obviously a very special show for Jade, and you could tell throughout the performance that she was very emotional. It was very theatrical, which of course you would expect from Jade at this point, and she just completely owned the stage. The venue is a small venue, the City Hall, but she made good use out of the space that she had. She was all over the stage, giving 1,000,000%. And honestly, she's just such a star and such a brilliant performer, in my personal opinion. At one point, she was up on the balcony and sang Silent Disco. She really threw everything at this show, and you could tell that a lot of love was put into this show. Everything was fantastic, from the band to the dancers to the theming, the lighting, Jade herself, of course, as well. She just has such a great voice. I think if her team put her in the Newcastle arena, I reckon she would have sold it out easy. I think that she would have been fine on a bigger stage by herself. We know Jade can perform in larger venues. She obviously did that with Little Mix over the years, and she's also performed at the Brit Awards and Glastonbury this year solo, and she was brilliant then. But I will say that the old theatre charm of the City Hall did mix well with the theming and the theatrics of the show. However, I do think that it's important to note that she could have easily sold out the arena, and I'm still shocked that she actually didn't perform at the arena instead of City Hall, because you look at this tour and pretty much every single show is sold out. So yeah, I'm shocked that they didn't upgrade the venue from the City Hall to the arena. But anyway, moving on from that, the atmosphere from the crowd was intense. I knew it was going to be a good crowd, but the crowd were just brilliant. It was just such a good crowd. It was a sold out show. The crowd were enthusiastic, lively, and it's just great to see. And everyone was just really nice to each other from what I saw. And everyone just had such a lovely night from what I saw as well, which is lovely. The set list, if anyone's curious, was as follows. So she opened up the show with FUFN, Headache, Before You Break My Heart, and she actually brought on her niece Amara onto the stage with her as well, which was just this really cute little moment. Unconditional, Fantasy, Self-Saboteur, Lip Service, Plastic Box, Glitch, and then she did a bit of a mashup of Frozen by Madonna and Set You Free by Entrance. They were kind of like a bit of a mashup there. And then she went on to sing Natural at Disaster, Midnight Cowboy, Wasabi, which is of course Lil Mix song, Gossip, It Girl, Silent Disco, and then to close out the show, she of course sang Angel of My Dreams. So as you can see from the set list, she played every single song from her debut solo album, That's Showbiz Baby, which that's to be expected. This is of course the album we are touring with at the end of the day. Before You Break My Heart with Amara on stage with her was such a gorgeous little moment. I loved that. You could tell that it meant a lot to Jade to have her up on stage with her. Her performance of Silent Disco from the balcony was amazing. Unfortunately though, because of where she was stood, I couldn't see from my seat, which was a bit of a shame. Even if I stood up, I couldn't see anything, unfortunately. But the performance was still beautiful. It's one of my favourites on the album as well. Angel of My Dreams, you can't forget that. That was a special moment at the end there. And those are just a few of my favourite moments from the show. At the end of the show, you could just see the emotion, and, you know, she was crying and I was like almost crying as well. and I saw that Jade also had been suffering with, I believe it was a throat infection. Please correct me if I'm wrong. She was putting up on her socials that she had a throat infection in the days leading up to the show. She was on medication for it. So I was a little bit worried, like, oh my goodness, is her voice going to be as good as what it normally is? But honestly, she was fantastic and her voice was just as good as it always is. So whatever medication she's on, it must be some absolutely good stuff, because her voice was just still fantastic. I had goosebumps the entire show. I was definitely expecting a proper full-on theatrical show. But this show was even better than my expectations, honestly. And my expectations were already quite high. It is easily the best show that I've personally seen at the City Hall. And actually one of my favourite shows that I've ever been to, full stop. So with all that being said, all positive stuff. I absolutely loved it, as you guys can tell. What were your thoughts on the That's Showbiz Baby tour? Have you been to see her? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this quick review. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.